Hello everyone. Last class we were discussing about the heroic character of Rani of Jhansi. Today we are going to discuss the reasons for the failure of the Sipahi mutiny. What were the reasons why our Indians failed in this war? Let us study what were the main reasons for this failure of 1857. The first reason was many reasons are there. Among those, it was mainly the first war of Indian independence mainly concentrated on the issues of the rights of kings and queens rather than the liberation of the country. The issues of kings and queens was concentrated because of this reason. This is one cause for the failure. Next, there were many unexpected results were there. Taking of decision or thinking in a right way or giving a direction or taking the leadership, leading the team. Many are there. Next, unity. There was a lack of unity among the Indians, but there was unity among Britishers. The Britishers took help of the native rulers. The native rulers joined their hands with the British, whereas the Indians were failed in unity. Next, the mutiny lacked in the direction and leadership. The Sipahi mutiny was failed. Why? Because on those days there was no proper leader to lead the team. Those who were leaders, they were kept in prison and some of them were hanged. And there was no proper direction to our Indians. Because of this reason, our Indians were unable how to oppose the Britishers and in what time which decision should be taken. They were totally in confusion in the direction, as well as there was no proper leader to lead this Sipahi mutiny. Next, the soldiers also lacked in discipline and in organizing of skills. The soldiers were not disciplined. They were indisciplined. Why? Because some of them, they started to loot the treasury of the local people. So that is why the local people lost their faith in soldiers. Because of this reason. This is also one of the major reasons for the failure of 1857. Then, what capacity they have, what skill they have, that capacity and skill was not utilized in a proper way. Next, the freedom fighters lacked a definite aim. On those days, there was no proper aim. There should be a proper aim of liberation of the country. Instead of that, everyone started individually of their own benefit, of their kingdom, of their empire. So, because of this reason, there was no unity. Next, Indian kings extended their loyalty, whereas the Britishers utilized that loyalty in a different manner. The British did not support the freedom fighters on those days. The people, those who came forward, those who led the Indians to fight against the British, all were suppressed. All were kept in prison. And some of them were hanged. Then others remained. They started to afraid to come forward to fight against Britishers. The Sipahi is made to lose the faith of common people. As we discussed, the Sipahi is involved in the looting of treasure. That is why the common people lost their faith. These are the causes for the failure of 1857 uprising. That is why in 1857 our people didn't get victory unless the unification of the Indians, the victory was highly impossible. That is why our Indians failed in 1857 uprising. After this, the Britishers remained as powerful. Let us study what are the results of this mutiny. What happened? What are the changes took place in India? How the Britishers expanded their empire? How the Britishers remained firm in India? How did the Britishers use the Indians as a puppet in the hands of their war? For these all, now we are going to discuss what are the results of Sipahi mutiny. After the end of this war, 1857, the first result was East India Company came to an end. East India Company was a private company. This private company was under the control of the Britishers. The East India Company was completely in misuse of the power. That is why the Indians started to oppose the East India Company. That is why there was a demand of Indians to change, or whatever orders are there, whatever laws are there, those all everything were not favorable to Indian society. Because of this reason, East India Company came to an end. Next time, governance of British government started. The British government started. The Britishers started to rule over India. The Britishers took the Indian administration in their hand. Looking like Indians are there, but the power is vested with the Britishers. Next, administration of India was handed over to Secretary of Indian Affairs of the British Parliament. The Secretary of Indian Affairs of the British Parliament started to look after the administration of India. Hence, everything came under the control of Secretary. That Secretary was in British Parliament. Because of this reason, again the administration started to misuse. Next, Queen of Britain passed a declaration in 1858. Queen Victoria passed a declaration. That declaration was for what purpose our Indians were fighting against the British. Queen Victoria promised that whatever your demands are there, so those demands our Indian government definitely will fulfill. Then on, our Indians also believed in initial stage. And this declaration has many aspects. Let us study those aspects, whatever aspects were there in that declaration, which is made by Queen Victoria. The declarations are like this: the agreements entered by the company with the local kings were accepted. Even with that declaration, the local kings can make agreement with the company. That was the first aspect. Second aspect is non-pursuance of a regional expansion. Number 3, providing a stable government for Indians. Queen Victoria declared that we are going to provide a stable government. What do you mean by stable government? The stable government is nothing but that is the government which can understand the difficulties of Indians and which can solve the problems of Indians. Because of this reason, for a long time there was fight against the British to provide stable government to Indians. That stable government was promised by Queen Victoria. Next is equality before the law. As we know before, the justice and the judgments were favorable only for Britishers, and there was injustice for Indians. Because of this reason, this is also one of the major reason for the fight against the Britishers in 1857. That is why the British government promised that, Queen Victoria promised, that is, they are going to provide equality before law. Means they are going to treat equally everyone, even before law also. Next, non-interference of the government in religious issues of the Indians and practicing religious tolerance. The British government promised that it won't interference in the religious matter and the Indian religious tolerance. In this, the British government decided to not interfere in the matter of religious in India. These are the aspects of the declaration of Queen Victoria. Apart from this, after the end of this war, the Britishers realized that unless and until command the love and affection of Indians ruling, India would be a difficult proposition. Means the Britishers thought that unless until winning the love and affection of Indians, we can't rule India. So first we should love and create affection among all the Indians with our administration. Finally, they came to conclusion. They decided to involve the Indians in the process of legislation and implemented policy of association. Then onwards, the Britishers decided to involve the Indians even in formation of laws, where the Indians can put the problems of ours in front of the government, where they can get solution in front of the government. If they have problems, definitely the government can find the solutions of their problems. So after the end of this war, these are the many changes took place. This 1857 became just like a guide in future to fight against Britishers. Taking the example of this, it became light to the Indians to war against the Britishers to get freedom to India. This is what we have discussed today. With this lesson ends.